We are recording. Okay, welcome again to Mom and Dad Talks. And, it was so exciting last week. My beautiful aunt, my beautiful mom and dad. And this week, I have my beautiful great aunt with us on the phone, everyone. And, I just can't say enough about my great aunt. She's beautiful, even though you can't see her on the phone. She is gorgeous. Watch out, guys. Don't try to take her right now because she's got a lot of family members. Amen. So, with that in mind, our two questions this week are, what is it like becoming like your parents, and family values? And we're talking about family values that have been like passed down. Let me give an example. For instance, my family, we do this thing called family worship before the sun sets on Friday night. And what happened was I took that to my family with my wife, and before the sun sets, we do a family worship. That's just an example. But you know what? There's some other values that we have that either we want to keep or, not want to keep. So I'm going to start with Hante. And then I'm going to go to Guelda. All right, Hante, let's get us rolling.
Okay. And you want the family value that I learned from Myrna Baker.
Yes.
You're gonna think this is, I don't know whatever, but my mother believed in chores. We had to have chores, and just one of the many things that she instilled in me was she assigned my night to do dishes. Yes, and I remember I had Tuesday, Thursday, and Sabbath. And those, that would be Saturday to those who don't know that, we keep the Sabbath. But it was that way until I moved out of the house. And which was, by the way, I was 22 years old when I got married.
Get out of here, Hante. You look
I felt like it was unfair for me to have that value, and I didn't get a chance to choose it. It was assigned to me, which meant that I had every Thanksgiving. There's more dishes to do on Thanksgiving than any other day of the week. I had Sabbath. We always had somebody over, so I had to do the dishes then. At the time, I did not appreciate the value that it gave me, but later on I did. So if you put my kids on now, they would say they didn't have no nights to do dishes. It was just, if I didn't feel like doing them, I asked them to do them, which gave it a little bit more flexibility, but giving chores and by the way, I had to clean the bathrooms too. So I know how to clean bathrooms.
Yes, Hante.
So I don't know what modern day parents do, whether they assign or whether they let the kids choose, but having chores is not all bad.
All right. Hante, thank you so much. Before I get to my mom and dad here, Aunt Guelda, tell me something about your family. Yes, please do.
Please, about what now?
Family values, that were
Family
passed
values?
down. Yeah.
Passed down. Okay. Well, since you started out on a religious value, I'm going to say one. My parents were very real sticklers about being ready for the Sabbath when the sun went down on Friday, and not doing things on the Sabbath that we should have been doing during the week. So that was one thing that is a real carryover, to be ready when the sun goes down. Be ready for the Sabbath. So you don't have to be doing things on the Sabbath that you should have done earlier.
Oh, nice. So mom and dad, were there any values that you guys had on your end?
I am going to say the same values that my sister and my auntie had. Very important for us to, first of all, get ready for the Sabbath. And that started on Thursday night as far as I'm concerned. Okay, there were things that we needed to do, and that was vacuum, make sure the kitchen floor is clean, and make sure, you know, all of our preparation is you know, complete by Friday evening. And then we would always have our family worship at sunset, which I carry through my family. And it's just making it a personal commitment that I saw growing up that I still carry on to this day. And I might say that even though my sister had every Sabbath to do dishes, I didn't have any control over what days we were given. But all I do know that is when your meal is over with, you clean up the kitchen and get the dishes done. And that's what I do in my household right as today. I cannot leave my dishes sitting around and mounting up. It is important. And that's what I was trained to do when I was growing up.
Now, Dad, you grew up in a different household.
That is correct.
And so tell me something about your family, Dad.
Well, growing up, I remember my father would always make us assemble in the living room and watch Channel 3, which was a news broadcast, Douglas Edwards and the News. Now, I was kind of upset at first because I would watch The Lone Ranger, Hopalong Cassidy, Sky King, but I had to stop that program, and we all had to watch Douglas Edwards and the News together. Then, after that, we would have our supper, and then we would do our homework. But then, every week, my father would read the newspaper every day, every day. And that's one habit I still have of reading the newspaper, especially the Sunday paper.
Yeah.
And Todd has a story about that. And I would read the Sunday paper from cover to cover. And I realized that here lately, my older brother, Carlton, has the same habit. He would go down to the store on the corner, buy the paper, and come home and read it from cover to cover.
Wow. So what is he talking? What's my dad talking about? Basically, basically every Sunday morning, my dad said he would time me to see how fast I would get the paper. And every Sunday, I would run as fast as I could to get Dad's paper, and I'd come back, and Dad was like, "Oh, I forgot to take the time." But every Sunday for like a long time, I kept on doing this. And finally one day I was like, Dad, you never time me every time I got to do the paper. And so I was like, Dad, why do I have to run and get it so fast? And I decided I would not do it anymore. Unfortunately, to this day, I did not pass down the gene that's passed down to my Uncle Carlton, and my dad. I don't read the paper because it has some painful memories for me. So that's the reason why I stopped. But, this is one of the things that we talked about here, right? Becoming like your parents, right? That's one thing I did not become like my parents because I didn't like. So what is one thing, and Aunt Guelda, I'm going to start with you, that you are like one of your parents? Give me one thing.
One thing that I'm like my parents. Well, let me see. I always thought, I didn't really have anything like my mother. I have to say my mother because my father died when I was at an early age, and I just, don't remember very much interactions with him. But my mother, maybe falling asleep. Falling asleep watching TV or something. She was good at that. She was good at falling asleep in the middle of a conversation. Because I haven't done that yet, but I guess that's next.
That's next on the agenda, Aunt Guelda.
Say what?
That's next on the agenda, falling asleep in the middle of a conversation.
Yeah.
Well, you haven't done that yet.
Possibly.
Well, you're young and vibrant. I love you, Aunt Guelda. So my parents, I don't know what happened to the camera. Oh, you're welcome. Love you. Parents, I don't know what happened to the camera, so I'm going to pass this on to Aunt Guelda while we try to figure out this snafu here. So, Hante, can you explain to us one thing that was passed down for you or becoming like your parent? Give us one thing.
One of the things passed down to me from my parents, I I remember, I don't know if this is good or bad, but my mother was always busy. I don't ever remember her sitting down, relaxing, watching TV or reading the newspaper, or yes, she did spend time with us, but it was quality time that we would probably remember. I'd have to choose a age bracket in doing that. But she did always having her plate full. And my dad too. He worked 3 jobs. That was not something I wanted to do. But guess who has 3 jobs today?
Not you, Hante. Please tell me not you.
And you know, my mother used to call me, you know, you need to do so, you need to get up and do so and so. Well, I don't remember my mother relaxing. Of course, with my father, you know, he worked nights and then he had a day job, and then, you know, so he didn't really relax. So I guess that's a value. No, I don't have any money. I mean, you would think somebody who worked 3 jobs would have some money.
Would be rich.
Or not rich, but at least, well, you know, the stimulus helped us out. So I guess that's my savings, I guess. I don't know.
There. Okay.
But not relaxing according to society. You should have some relaxation. I believe in that, but here I am.
Well, Hante, you look good. And Mom and Dad, I don't know what happened to your look, but
can you hear us?
I can hear you very well. I just can't see you well, so I don't know what's happening there.
You know what we look like, though, right?
Yeah, yes, I do. So let me ask.
Did you click on the video screen?
Dad, you got to click on video, Dad. But we'll keep on rolling here because we're recording.
All right. So what? You want me now? You want?
Yeah. I want you, and then I want Dad. Give me something that you're like your parents.
Oh, you first. Go ahead.
Okay. The family value that I had was my mother taught me how to work hard at what I do.
Okay.
Put me in the strawberry patch at 10 years old. Helped pay for the phone bill when Cammie was a baby. And just be consistent and whatever you make, you always put back and save a little bit. And for that, I have
good value.
That is a value that I have that I cherish.
And she does it to this day.
I do. And I'm grateful for that hard task that she put on me. Another one that she did was putting me over my younger siblings and putting me in charge sometimes. I can recall one week and she took off and went to Nashville, Tennessee, and told me to take care of my siblings. I think I was driving that green truck, wasn't I? Anyhow, that was responsibility to take them to church. And, you know, at 16, you know, it was just, she just loaded the responsibility on me. And so.
This was before latchkey children. You just took care of all of them. You were mama at that point.
Well, yeah, I was the oldest. So, so I, you know.
Where was your dad?
What?
Where was your dad?
You know what? I think he went with her. They took off together.
Working one of his 3 jobs.
It was on a weekend, so they went together.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
They were together, but I just remember, you know, this task being put on me while they were gone for the weekend.
And you never gave that up?
Yeah, I gave it up.
She's still the same today, huh?
Yes, that's correct.
That's beautiful.
I gave up trying to do anything with my siblings, take care of them, but you know.
Okay.
The other part, you know, I know how to hold on to a nickel.
I think you still look after your siblings in other ways, Mom. I think, you know, things that happen. So Dad, up to you, Dad, because I'm real curious. What is something that you keep as you know that's been passed down from your parents?
Well, I remember my father as always working on something around the house. Putting in faucets, sweating pipes, doing something. He was very handy at that around the house. And I remember he had a whole lot of tools, socket wrenches, trowels, levels, and everything like that. And I still am a tool junkie, and I like to work around the house and do things around the house.
Well, Dad, you've been an excellent handyman. I mean, you fix a lot of that. I mean, one of the smartest dudes I've ever known. I mean, you see something that's never been done before. Hante, you're a witness. I know Aunt Guelda's a witness. You can just figure it out and do it. Now, I can figure out and do it, but yes, Hante.
I did want to back up to your mom's, what she got from our mother, and she does to this day, that I admire so much, because I don't have that attribute. And I have, in my old age, I have wanted it worse than not want it. And I really admire her saving, her knowing how to save. As we used to say, you know, if Myrna had a nickel, she would squeeze it till the buffalo belched.
I never heard that one before.
Okay. Now, Todd,
yes, Dad.
X across my start video. What do I have to do?
Unexit, Dad. Unexit. We need to see the video, Dad. Just unexit. You know, like you unmute yourself.
It's not doing it.
Okay. Well, you know what? Afterward, folk, you know, we'll deal with it because we've been doing really, really good so far. So we're about ready to wrap up here. I mean, this has been exciting. And, you know, this is the thing. You know, everybody's got rules in families, right? And I'll tell everybody, it seems like, you know, Aunt Guelda's house, my Hante's house, and my mom and dad's house was all one and the same to me because all the rules all work together. And these rules have been passed down, ironically, to everybody else in the family. And to give you an example, my wife, she wasn't raised with my type of values, but she was raised with values. And we went out to the Black Hills, and she saw that everybody in the family that were, you know, about your age or younger, except for like 5 or 6 people, bought water and pizza. Aunt Guelda, when did this start of saving money or penny pinching? Can you help us out here with this?
Oh, well, hey, you know, you come from a family of 11 children. It's not hard to do. You know, it's just the way it was. You know, you had to stretch whatever you had. Make it go around to everybody. So you learn how to be conservative and maybe do with less than you really wanted to do. But it worked out just the same.
But you know, there's something that you and my grandmother both did. I don't think Hante or I know my mom did it. Well, you guys did it too. This thing with gum. Yeah, you will always say, yeah, go ahead, Hante.
Half a stick of gum?
Yeah, thank you. You didn't get the whole stick. You get a half a stick. Here you go. You want some gum? And they make us like so excited. I'm like, why am I get a half stick of gum? Why not the whole gum? But I
remember my grandmother. Aunt Guelda's mother chewing a half a stick of gum.
Right. I mean, I can't chew a whole stick today.
Me either.
So it's too much. It's too much in my mouth.
Right.
I can only deal with a half. Neither can she.
Well,
I thought that's the way it was supposed to be.
Well, I don't know what happened to my parents.
I don't know either.
I don't know neither.
But we're still on.
But they took themselves.
Another thing I know is about the Lawrence. What's this about steaming hot food?
Oh yeah, my food's got to be hot now.
Mine too.
Ooh-wee.
I mean,
don't give me no cold food.
Don't give me no cold food or lukewarm.
Not hot.
No lukewarm food. That's right.
Well, you know what? Since he's made that little hint, After I cook the food, I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator. So.
Oh, Mom, don't do it to Dad. He's gotten used to it now. Don't do that to Dad.
That's another thing. Going to the extreme.
Okay. Well, so that Dad doesn't get in trouble here. I want to thank everybody for being online. This has been a fantastic joy for me. We got like 3 or 4 generations here. That's a rarity, and we all enjoy each other, and that's even more a rarity. So I just want to tell everyone to enjoy your family, learn from them. A lot of wisdom to pass down, folks. Even though you think it may be minute, that's still wisdom you can carry. So I want to thank my Aunt Guelda, my Hante, my mom and dad for joining us today, and I hope you all had a great time learning from us today. And thank you, and